Pas de salutation aujourd'hui. À cause de la fatigue ou que je me suis réveillé il y a à peine une heure? Les deux. J'avais oublié que j'avais pris la tenue rouge. Alors, notre... Mais oui, on avait des bouteilles qui arrivent. Ok. C'est par là que je dois aller. On a un échappement.
Right, here goes! Double demon fang!
This one's mine!
Take this! It's over! Hurricane thrust! Searing
These
gale!
ones can run rings around us! Look sharp!
You're mine! You're finished!
I never miss! Time to shine!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah! And the pummeling to me!
Now I call! A roar! Here's evil!
Searing gale!
Take this!
Freeze Lancer!
You're mine! Eat this!
Now this
Take
one's
this!
mine!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
I'll heal you
My
all!
turn! No escape!
This one's mine!
You're mine!
This one's mine!
Rising wyvern!
Air thrust!
Stardust!
Shattering
Mega
Mega
Freeze!
Blade!
Lock! Get toasty!
Bird Strike!
C'est bon, j'ai
A
pas perdu la main.
comfortable win.
Hoot hoot!
You sense one of your pals, Hoodle?
Yeah, hoot hoot! Hoot hoot!
Why didn't the
Poussez-vous.
Renans take
Je
advantage
suis à la
of all
recherche
of
des
these
Hoochoo.
ruins around here? It seems like a missed
Attends,
opportunity. Most likely because it would be inefficient for harvesting astral energy. That's what dictates the current positions of each realm's capital.
Plus, Renans are averse to using anything that belongs to the Danans.
Un maquereau.
Is the blazing sword okay?
A little water's not going to hurt it.
Merde. Poussez-vous. Je suis à la recherche.
You're finished!
I'm only getting going now.
Stardust!
I'll be
Hurricane
saving this
thrust!
one.
Here I come! You're finished!
I'm not so good with airborne
No
targets.
escape!
No further!
Take this! It's over!
I can carve through
It's
More
gone!
reptile.
You're mine! It's over!
Going to sleep now.
You're mine! It's over!
This
Stardust!
one's mine. Take
In
this.
here.
Tiger Blade.
More for the
You're mine!
Radiant
Strike! Ignite!
If it's in the sky,
Take
it's
this!
mine.
You're finished! Great! Next!
Annihilate.
Tiger Blade.
Hear me. Flame
More
of
for the
fury. Burning
stockpile.
strike. On
Here
guard.
I come! You're finished!
In here.
Stardust!
Radiant.
I never
this
miss.
one.
Here I come! It's over!
Get toasty. Thirsty!
Burn strike!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Ah, tu m'emmerdes.
I can't wait to start making our meal.
Ooh, we having something new to eat?
Yep, now that we have all the ingredients.
Non, Hoodle ne veut pas. Y'a pas de chouchoute. Mais chouchoute. Minerai astral. Oh Dieu, la laitue. C'est de la compensation.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Allez-vous vous reposer? Oui. Allons-y.
What should I make tomorrow?
Dohalim, your spare bracers were getting dirty, so I polished them up along with the rest of your equipment.
Why, thank you, Kisara. I greatly appreciate that.
Maybe it's just my imagination, but you sure seem to fuss over Dohalim a whole lot, Kisara.
It is a little strange. Almost like you're still in his service.
Really? That's certainly not my intention. Besides, he's not the only one I'm like that with. Hey, Law, I saw your clothes were starting to get holes in them, so I stitched them back up for you.
Oh, wow. Thanks, Kisara.
Point taken. Do you just like looking after people?
I wouldn't go so far as to say I like it, but I get anxious if I don't. I'd always like to help if I can. It comes naturally to me. Back in the day, Miguel and I used to look after the younger kids a lot, so that's probably where it comes from. He taught me everything I know, and I mean everything. How to cook with wild plants, how to sew clothes so they'll last. Without him, we never would have been able to survive.
However, you're not a lord anymore, Dohalim. You need to get used to the idea that people aren't just going to wait on you hand and foot.
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm ashamed to admit that I felt no qualms about her doing all that for me. As both a Renan and especially as a lord, one becomes too accustomed to those beneath you tending to your every need, both Renans and Danans alike.
Sure, that's how all you Renans are probably raised. But just to be clear, we're not your servants, Dohalim. Got that?
Absolutely. Moments such as this provide me with ample opportunity to confront my unease. It is difficult to tend with my own motivations.
What do you mean?
The truth of the matter is that my espousal of coexistence in Menancia hardly came from an idealistic place. That instinctive unease I feel deep within serves as a reminder for what it is that all of us here fight for.
Don't be so hard on yourself. No one's going to abandon you if you aren't always perfect.
Looking at her now, I think she's more like his mom than his servant.
C'est bon, on va quand même se reposer. Non.
Dohalim, care if I hang out for a while? You worried about what's going on with Menancia?
What makes you think that?
Well, you were speaking to Kisara earlier, weren't you?
It's rude to listen in on others, you know.
Sorry. I didn't hear what you two were actually talking about, though. I just figured it was Menancia since it was the two of you.
I am but a former lord who has abandoned his post. I'm no longer in a position to lead the realm in any capacity whatsoever. Yet Kisara still seeks out my opinions, knowing full well that is the case. This despite the fact I am no longer her master either.
Couldn't it be precisely because you're not her master anymore? It's natural for friends to want to hear each other's opinions.
I hadn't considered that possibility.
It's funny what you miss sometimes.
Hardly uncommon among artistic types such as myself, When lordships are decided based solely on one's astral energy, it can lead to funny results.
But even so, you still took your job as Lord seriously, didn't you?
Certainly. I learned to perform my functions. However, I was less interested in ruling, so much as avoiding life and death decisions. Of course, such a mentality in the end led only to sickening pain and death taking place elsewhere out of sight. I pretended not to see or hear any of it, content to let our supposed peace and equality keep me blind and deaf to reality. I was a fool.
But you're making amends.
I would like to think so. The path ahead is dark, yet I still walk on. I merely pray that I shan't fall down any holes along the way. We'd best get ready for tomorrow.
Putain, j'arrête pas de m'étouffer.
Shall we get moving?
Ah. Non, non, pas de poids de pêche. Non.
Looks like we made it here in one piece.
Oui, je visite aussi.
You sense one of your pals, Hootle?
I see plenty of ruins around here, too. It must have been a big town bustling with people back in the day.
For crown contest participants, places such as these are but vectors for the astral energy they pursue. Similar to that windmill, for instance.
Ouais, j'en suis un nouveau plat, crème glacée. De la putain de crème glacée. Et merde, et merde, et merde.
That's far enough.
It's like trying to keep up with a wolf.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! No escape! I owe you one.
Water, here
In a vine, look sharp.
I owe you one.
Now you see what I can do.
You're mine!
Magic is out! In here! I'll be saving this one!
Ha! Eat
Blah, blah,
You're
magic!
mine!
In here!
Dragon Swarm!
More for the stockpile! Here, let me help.
Now or never.
I owe you one.
This one's mine.
Dragon Swarm!
In a vine,
Oh, too shy.
You're mine!
Here, more
Dragon Swarm!
Do it.
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
There!
My turn!
On guard.
Yeah, my turn! I'm not done! Rising Wyvern!
Downfall!
It's time! Totally! In an instant! Impact Clock! Onward and upward.
Ouais. Là. Je le vois. Yeah, je les ai enfin, les ailes d'ange.
Looks like we've spotted one of Hoodle's friends.
Par contre, c'est des toutes petites ailes. Hein.
Do you think this is one of the places where the Dark Wings and Almadria fought?
I wouldn't be so sure. This place appears more ravaged by time than
De toute façon, il
combat.
faudra que je revienne à la
Even
zone
if
du
there
feu
are
parce qu'il y a des
signs of
centaines que j'ai pas
destruction,
visité.
it would likely have taken place during the great conquest of 300 years prior.
And ever since, it's been a breeding ground for Zeugles, I guess.
You guys want to rest here?
Bah oui, toujours camper. Faut toujours camper. Camper, c'est bonne place.
I hope we managed to...
Tais-toi, Kisara.
What's up, Kisara? You look concerned.
Oh, no, it's just... I'm looking at our finances and they seem to have taken a nosedive. I don't remember us making any big purchases, though.
Ah, that may be because I borrowed a small amount to purchase something the other day.
I don't think you can call spending more than half of our money a small amount.
half? Dohalim, what the hell did you buy?
As it so happens, I came upon a rather special object that I've long been searching for.
Are you talking about that junk? I mean, that unique-looking trinket you're holding?
Whoa, is that a...
Indeed. It is a lost artifact from ancient Danan times. Most likely, it was used for some sort of rite or ritual. Ever since we Renans conquered Dana, such objects have been disappearing. I simply want to do my part to help preserve both our people's storied histories.
Well, if it's to preserve Danan history, then I guess we can maybe look the other way. Just this once?
I don't know. Why spend money on something that won't even keep us fed?
More to the point, we all contribute to that money. I don't like the thought of anyone dipping into it without saying anything.
You must understand. Had I let that opportunity pass me by, I'd never have come across this item again.
Dohalim, maybe no one taught you that money doesn't grow on trees.
I may have been a lord, but I realize that much.
It's not enough to simply realize it. You have to internalize the concept too. Even after all this time, you still have no real sense of money. Our funds aren't your personal wallet. We camp outside and eat grass for dinner to try and stretch every last gold we have. You never know when we may need it.
I don't think we're so poor that we have to eat grass or anything.
Shut up, Alphen.
Shutting.
Let's just agree to not spend too much or be too thrifty for our own good.
Putain, mais ils avaient des trucs à me dire!
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little?
Hootle, let me know if you sense anything.
Bon, juste pour les petites animations. Hein.
Another day, another gold.
A dead end?
No, there's an elevator. Looks operational.
On devrait aller à la suite de l'histoire, s'il vous plaît. Un putain de navire de guerre. Bon, on l'avait vu pendant la cinématique de début, mais...
an underground harbor here. There are even boats docked.
I only see Danans. Think they were forced to work here?
Probably. Let's see what they have to share about Almadria. You didn't happen to see a lord come by, did you?
Sorry, friend, but she just left. Came by with a whole posse of underlings, boarded her ship, and took off at first wind. We damn near got blown away. She was that much in a hurry.
Damn! So we missed her!
You guys trying to go after her? Need a ride?
Are you saying you know how to steer a ship?
Spent most of my life chained to the deck of some ship or other. Yeah, I know my jib from my boom.
We don't know how dangerous it'll be. Better you give us the boat and stay on solid ground.
Whoa there! You been out on the water before? The sea ain't nobody's friend, you know. You need a sea dog like me, or you'll sink her before she makes it out the harbor.
We're losing time. Sir, we're in your debt.
Now that's more like it. Name's Mahavar. Just give me a holler when you're all set, and we'll set sail.
C'est pour ça que je rigole sans faire de bruit. Alors, ce qui m'emmerde surtout... c'est que je sais... Alors, allons-y, hein.
This is like a dream come true. Never gotten to captain a ship before. Never would have thought I'd get a chance like this. Thank you, y'all.
The pleasure's all ours. Think we'll catch up to her?
Course we will. They got too much weight on them. Meanwhile, this ship's carrying nothing but us salty scalawags. They got a good head start on us, but we can take them.
Do you know if there are any Danans on that ship?
Couldn't say for sure. On the one hand, seeing as it's supposed to be something of another castle, I'd reckon they probably wouldn't let a bunch of Danans on board. On the other hand, I'd be real surprised if the Renans were able to pilot that thing all by themselves. In any case, it's gonna be a while before we reach her. Until then, you're all free to do whatever. Just don't fall in the ocean.
Votre groupe s'est séparé.
I know Mahavar said we could take it easy, but there's not exactly a lot to do on this boat. I guess I'll check in on everyone and see how they're holding up.
Voilà, j'attendais qu'il y en ait une qui soit malade. Moi, je vais pas lancer, mais c'est pas grave.
Do you think Law is okay?
If you're worried, why don't you ask him yourself?
Yeah. I think maybe I should apologize to him too. I should apologize to all of you, really.
Us too?
Well, I was kinda lying to you all this whole time. I was blind to everything except my own revenge. I never even considered the struggles all of you might be facing.
We all have things we'd prefer to keep to ourselves, Rinwell. So what if you had something to hide? It doesn't undo the good that you've done, or the people that you've helped save along the way.
But that's not what I mean.
I know. You're talking about Almeidrea, right?
Yeah. I hate her, Alphen. I can't stop hating her. Even just thinking about her makes my head feel like it's going to explode. But it's not just her. I think about the way Law looked at me. I hated the Lord who killed my parents. And I hated the Renans I had to travel alongside. And yet, Cyslodius Danans backstab each other like it's a normal way of life. And Mahag Sar has people like Deadeye. But then there are people like Law and Shion. It's all just too much. I don't know what to think anymore.
Law never said that you had to forgive Almeidrea. It's only natural you would hate your family's murderer. But
what?
Law left home because of how much he hated his father. As a result of that, well, I think Law spent a lot of time thinking about how they never got to make things right. And if I had to guess, killing Ganabel didn't make any of those feelings go away. Law let revenge fuel him, and I think now he's afraid you'll do something you'll regret.
Afraid?
Whatever happens to Almeidrea when this is all over is up to you. I'll respect whatever choice you make. Just think it over carefully for me, okay? You still have time.
Okay. Thanks, Alphen. Say, back then, after the fight, I think I really made Shion mad. I don't know, though. Maybe it just looked that way. But I guess I just can't seem to understand how she feels. Do you know why she gets like that?
Shion's... She can be a tough nut to crack. She doesn't really talk a whole lot about herself.
It's just what she said about hate being a source of strength. Where did that come from? I wonder how it feels, not being able to hold another person's hand.
Bon, on va parler d'abord aux... Bon, toi tu...
I took a look around inside the ship just in case, but I didn't find anything that looked like it might be suspicious.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
You know, it wasn't until I left Calaglia that I finally realized just how big the world is.
When we tore down the wall in Calaglia, and I could finally see the horizon in the far-off distance, I had the exact same thought.
Yeah, somehow the sea is different, though. I'm not sure just how to put it. It's almost as if it just goes on forever. I bet my old man would have been blown away by this view.
Yeah.
Ever since he died, I've been thinking about what it was that he was really trying to say to me at the end. I keep going over his words again and again. And heck, maybe I'm just overthinking it all. But still, sometimes I wonder if it could have turned out differently. If there was something I could have done. But no matter how much I play it back, I'm still no closer to finding any answers. And then there's everything with Rinwell. I stopped her from killing Almeidrea, but was that really the right thing to do? Or did I just end up making things harder for her? I feel like such a screw-up.
You're not the only one. I keep asking myself what Zephyr would have done had he been here. Like, I think, how would Zephyr have handled Rinwell?
Yeah, I think he definitely would have stopped her. No doubt about it.
And that's exactly what you did, Law. I think he'd be really proud of you.
Alphen.
Zephyr's not the worst yardstick to measure ourselves against. Let's both do our best to make him proud.
Sounds like a deal. Thanks, Alphen.
Hold that pose long enough and someone might just come along and paint you.
Any artist who'd see fit to paint me needs their eyes tested.
What can you tell me about Almeidrea?
Not as much as you'd probably wish. I only ended up crossing paths with her a handful of times, after I was chosen to be a lord on Lenegis.
Ah, right. I almost forgot about Lenegis. How much do you think they know about what's been going on down here?
It's safe to assume they know everything, though I know not why they choose to remain uninvolved. Perhaps they see what's been happening as just part of the ongoing crown contest.
Even what Almeidrea did? Has it really reached the point where her actions are seen as normal?
Not to my knowledge, no. At its core, the crown contest is a competition to see who can amass the most astral energy. And to amass such energy, slaves are needed to collect it from. It's therefore against the Lord's interest to kill them.
So then why would Almeidrea do something like that?
We must remember that time is running out in the crown contest. Perhaps her hand was forced, so to speak. It is a way to accrue astral energy faster and in larger quantities than through slave labor. Doing so kills off that labor force, obviously, but it is a means to an end nonetheless. No one could have foreseen that something like the Hollowing would arise back when the contest was first conceived.
Is becoming the Sovereign of Rena really that important to the Lords?
Of course. It's the greatest prize one can attain in their eyes. In that respect, at least, I'm really not that surprised that Almeidrea resorted to what she did, as utterly despicable as it is.
It's reassuring to hear you feel the same way I do.
I worry that the only reason I never did anything similar in Menancia was due to my lack of ambition.
If you didn't want to be reminded of your past, you could have just plugged your ears.
You think too highly of me. I'm afraid I must respectfully disagree. I'm not nearly as virtuous of a person as you might wish to believe.
If that's so, would you have been so shaken up when Kisara lost her brother? Why else would you turn your back on your own kind and choose to fight for Miguel's dream? Aren't we just Dahnans?
A curious choice of words. Did what you see in Mahag Saar hit you that hard?
What Deadheim did to that city, he didn't liberate anyone. Anyone who refused to follow him was an enemy in his eyes. 300 years of Renan rule taught him nothing.
What I have come to understand is that the conflict extends beyond Dahnan versus Renan. There is an internal quarrel as well. I mean to bring about a true, lasting coexistence in Menancia. But there are more walls we must topple first.
And you don't think you can pull it off?
Well, you seem to think you can, at least.
Does that make us enemies?
Insofar as an exchange of swordplay, no, it doesn't.
Not good enough for you?
Are you really... Forgive me. I will continue to fight by your side a while longer. That much I have decided.
Bon, Kisara, t'es celle qui a le mal de mer.
You don't look so good. You all right?
The floor. It keeps moving. How can you stand it? How can you even stand?
I'm not the best person to ask about discomfort.
Je crois que c'est elle qui adore la
I can't
pêche.
feel pain, remember?
I still can't believe what happened in Niez. Even now. As a lord, my expectations for Almeidrea were already pretty low. But the way she treated human lives like they're mere playthings.
Yeah. And it wasn't as if the situation in Niez was improving much to begin with.
You mean Deadheim?
The whole reason I started fighting back was because of my anger at the atrocities of Renan rule. Back then, all I had to worry about was fighting the Renans for the sake of the Danans. But then I met Shion and the people of Menancia, and things became a lot more complicated. It's even messier now that we have to worry about Danans like Deadheim.
It used to be that the Danans were the ones in the right, and the Renans were the ones in the wrong. Though, maybe that was just a biased perspective, from being on the side of the oppressed.
Exactly. I'll never tolerate the Renans ruling over us. But nothing ever ends up being as black and white as you'd expect it to be either. That's clear to me now.
That said, even putting aside bad apples like Deadheim for a moment, you may be able to free the Danan people, but that won't undo 300 years of oppression. It'll be hard for them to not give in to their resentment. I think maybe that's why I clung to our dream so hard back in Menancia.
Even if his motivations weren't pure, Dohalim has a good heart. He didn't sink to the depths Almeidrea did.
You don't understand. I'm saying that it goes deeper than that. This hierarchy we live in, it's not solely something the Renans invented. I remember a story Rinwell once told me. She said before the Renans invaded, we Danans had our own class system. We are the ones who divided ourselves. I saw it in Deadheim's eyes. He wanted to rule over others.
To hear Bayfon tell it, Deadheim wasn't always that way.
But as time went on, and he and the Darkwings fought the Renans, he eventually changed. I guess what I'm getting at is, if we defeat the Renans but just go back to the way things were before, was there even any point in fighting?
But that world isn't the one you want to create, right?
Maybe not. But to tell you the truth, these days I'm not so sure that dream is even possible.
You have your promise to Megal, though. Your home and the people of Menancia are depending on you.
I know. My brother. He truly believed in his dream of coexistence. And I suppose, even now, many people still do. And then, there's you.
Who, me?
You and Shion.
I'm not sure I follow.
Okay, then let me spell it out for you. How many other Renans and Danans do you know that get on as spectacularly as the two of you?
I don't know that I'd say spectacularly.
Well, I suppose it's really all a matter of how you look at it, isn't it?
I really don't see what you're getting.
I think I'm getting seasick again. Sorry. Can you just give me a wide berth for a few minutes?
Ah, cinématique direct.
Lean much further, you'll go overboard. Keeping an eye out for Almeidrea's ship?
I'm looking at the ocean.
The ocean?
Yeah. The waves. They help me think. This world is filled with natural wonders. The icy air and white peaks of Cyslodia. The lush green glades of Menancia. The harsh wastes of Calaglia. But Menancia has its Lake of Death, and Niez its ruins. And they wouldn't be there if it weren't for that contest.
say we actually manage to put a stop to the crown contest for good. What do you think will happen between the Dahnans and the Renans then?
You first.
Well, I want to believe that the coexistence we saw in Menancia can happen elsewhere, too. It's insane for all of us to keep fighting. If Menancia can do it, so can everyone else.
Yeah, I think that would be good too. A world where everyone can get along. At least, that's what I've come to believe.
You sure have changed.
I can't lie to you. Since I was young, I've looked down on the Dahnans too. But I've seen a lot. And I see things differently now. I've seen so many ugly and terrible things in this world. And yet, they didn't come from just the Dahnans. And the good things too. They didn't come from just the Renans. Kindness and cruelty exist on both sides. A person's race doesn't factor into it. So, I guess you're right after all, Alphen. I have changed. You know, I've never actually touched another person like this.
Shionne.
Ever since I was on Lenegis, I've always been alone. Even after I came to Dahna. Always.
And now?
Do you still not remember your past?
No. Sometimes it feels like I can almost remember. But then this mask stops me.
The mask keeps you from remembering why you have the mask in the first place. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
A little. Well, it won't be long now before you're rid of those thorns, you know? Only 2 lords remain. And once you have their master course, you'll be able to create the Renis Alma, right? Then you can... Shionne?
Sorry, it's nothing. Promise. You're right, though. It'll all be over soon. I never could have made it this far on my own. I have everyone to thank for that. Including... especially you, Alphen.
Don't worry about it. We're friends, after all.
Yeah, we are.
Wonder how much longer it's going to be before we catch up to Almeidrea. I'll ask Mahavar.
Look who's up! Good timing. We're closing in on her stern as we speak.
That's the ship? She's huge. Law, go gather the others, will you? Think you'll be able to flank them without getting spotted?
Yeah, with the fog as our ally, I think I might just pull it off. Long as we ain't too noisy, we should be okay.
What'll you do if they catch on to us?
Not much I can do. Ship that size, they'll probably blow us to bits before we ready cannons.
Persistent little things. Evidently, I shouldn't have spared the wretched vermin. Hungry already, my dear? Worry not, for you shall have plenty to feast upon shortly.
Perfect. You managed to get us right up beside them.
I'll stay with the ship so we can leave as soon as you're done.
Good. Then let's find Almeidrea.
Non.
Shion, I want to thank you.
What brought this on?
What you said helped to calm me.
Don't mention it.
Oh, oh c'est bon, je suis tranquille pendant un petit moment.
Here I come!
Look sharp! Here! Raging
Dragon
Storm!
form!
This one's mine! One more!
Dragon form!
Go ahead! No mercy!
Now you see what I can do!
Do it! This one's mine! Astral energy!
Say no more!
Annihilation!
My turn!
Raging cascade! In here!
Here I come! Rising Law!
Radiant
Dragon swarm!
flame! Reload!
Burn!
Light astral
Now we're not-
energy!
It's over!
Make it rain!
Dueling! In an instant! Impact Clock!
With this, I can become even stronger.
No
Let the
choice!
marksman handle
I
this.
see one, eh?
Lunar
Dragon
blast! Lunar blast!
Watch for their ranged attacks.
Where are you going? Now!
Shion!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! My turn!
Its armor's too strong! Then I'll split it open! Be my guest!
By the power of water!
You're finished! Dragon Swarm!
Here goes!
I can carve through armor!
Radiant
Like steel?
storm! Now, Radiant Pierce! Time to shut...
All yours, Kisara!
Oh, elle était classe cette attaque.
Quite necessary. Huh?
Got it. That went well.
Are you okay? You're not too tired, are you?
Nope, I'm fine.
No choice! Take this!
Hear me! Flame of
This
the
one's
sun!
mine.
Burn!
Burning! Go raging
Take
water!
this!
Dragon
Swarm!
Here, let me make it rain.
Burning! In here!
Go in.
I'll be saving this one!
You're mine! You're finished! Stardust!
Magic exam! Here!
You're mine!
Going
You're
in.
finished!
Away! Hear me!
You're mine! It's over!
Glacial Sphere. Here we
Dragon
go.
Swarm! Dueling! In an instant! Impact Clock!
Step back. This one's all law.
Alors on est tout en bas, il faut qu'on monte.
Gotta break through! Bring him down!
Primed and ready.
Now you see what I can do.
This one's mine. I'll take my revenge on you.
For my lord!
Far enough. First
Dragon
aid.
swarm! Eat them! We're not finished!
Shining supernova.
Make it rain.
Lightning.
Hey! Blow them away!
Will this help?
Not a chance!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! And the tunnel to me!
No escape!
One for that.
Dragon swarm! Shield!
This one's got your name on it.
Ashes to ashes.
Take
Not a chance!
Now,
Light burst forth.
Radiant Genesis. I won't rest until I'm the best I can be.
Still striving to be on par with the Lord?
You simply can't be too strong when battle is a part of your everyday.
I'll do my best.
You're mine!
Not in your dreams.
One more!
I can read your moves like a book. Now you see what I can do.
My shield?
Shining
We're not finished!
Dance in the wind.
Dragon swarm!
Corruption. More for the
Double
stockpile.
demon fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Radiant
My turn.
Light. This
It's
one's mine.
over.
Where that came from.
Ha! Ignite!
Lunar corruption.
Going in.
Dragon swarm! Now or never.
I'll heal you all.
No further!
With the marksman. Astral energy. Full throttle. Go!
I can feel my power growing!
Sarah, elle doit aller une seconde bas.
No
I'll
choice!
heal you all.
got spirit! You're
Where
ready!
are you going?
Let's go! Dragon swarm!
Flaming meteor.
I won't show you any mercy! Now you'll learn! You're mine! It's over!
Raging cascade.
This it!
Here goes.
Far
enough. Air thrust.
Dragon swarm!
Do it. Xion. Astral energy. Full throttle. Go.
Not a chance!
Thunder
Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Dragon
Shield.
swarm!
More for the stockpile.
Going in.
Radiant pierce.
Take this! This one's all mine!
Shining
Rising
supernova. More where that came from.
Take this!
Take this. I'm out of ammo.
Tiger Blade.
Here I come!
I'm all
Now or
stocked
never.
up.
Take this!
J'ai perdu.
Let's refrain
J'ai perdu
from
le sens des
losing.
touches. Je dors.
An opponent like this should be easy.
Mega ray.
Try harder! Not a chance!
Malevolent.
I'm not done! Not today!
You'll pay for what you did.
It's over!
Anything in armor is all mine.
Dragon deal! Try harder!
Healing.
We're not finished!
That's my cue.
Get out of this! Shut him down!
Raging
Take
storm.
this! Die!
Blood. Searing
Take this.
flame.
over! Dual Demon Fang!
By the power
Take this! It's over! Dragon Swarm!
Here, let me go! Make it rain!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes! My turn! I'm not done! Dragon Swarm!
Make it rain!
Barely a blip on our radar.
What?
Out of my way! I never miss! Flaming meteor!
It's over!
Radiant light!
So much for talking it out.
Armor won't save you!
Look sharp.
Take this!
Here!
It's over! Mine!
Here's switch round!
Take this! Huh? Not today! You're my...
You require a hand.
Take this!
Dragon Swarm!
Raging storm! Thunder! Lightning! Flawless flight!
I'm not
I'm out of armor! Tiger blade!
escape! Dragon Swarm!
I'm gone! Annihilation!
Take this!
Burning!
You're finished!
Here, let me help.
Take this!
Going in.
It's over!
Healing circle!
You're mine!
Take this!
In here!
Dragon Swarm!
Light
I'll piece you right
This
back!
one's mine! Meteor!
Take this! It's over!
Lunar corruption!
This one's mine.
By the power of
You're
water!
finished!
Radiant! Here goes! Where are you going?
In a bind,
Here I come!
I can handle
I
it.
can carve through armor!
Radiant
up.
light! Here goes!
You picked the wrong fight! You won't make a fool of me! Dragon Swarm!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Voilà, en plus ça fait de jolies images.
They really made us work for that one.
Les d'accès. Ah yes.
Never seen anything like it.
It's an authentication key. They're quite common.
Maybe where you're from, but this is new to me.
It might go in an elevator somewhere. We should test it out.
Ok, on peut revenir à la salle d'avant. Go, 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 go. Le pire c'était le château de Link. Il fallait aller dans la salle B, de la salle A, de la salle C. Ou inférieur. Bon, on va visiter.
Now that's what I call a ship!
Yeah. The biggest one in all of Mahag-Sar. So big that it took years to construct.
For all we know, Kelzelik may well have been smuggling materials to help build it. In which case it would be yet another mistake on my part.
We don't know that she was only getting materials from Menancia.
You think it's possible that they might have come from elsewhere too? Yeah, I guess I could see it.
But what do you think Almadria plans to do from here on out, now that she's abandoned her realm and sailed out to sea?
She'll be filling her coffers with gold, most likely. Then she'll sit back and enjoy the show as the other lords duke it out. Or something to that effect, at least.
I wouldn't put it past her.
She's strong, yet shrewd, and will stoop to any low. A dangerous one indeed.
She's not the first, and she won't be the last. This is a lord we're talking about, remember?
Sounds like you've made up your mind already.
There was never anything to decide. No one who can smile like that while doing what she did deserves to roam free.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
I'll do my best.
Take this!
Water! Here
It's
I
over.
come! Not in your dreams!
Dragon Swarm!
Fury! More with that aim! It's a duel of the arts! Hear my call! Thunderclap! Now!
Here I come!
Pesky!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! My turn!
Going
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll soon see about that!
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine!
Double Demon Fang!
Thunder Field! Dance in the wind! Lunar Make your way to die next! By the power of water!
Putain, je viens de passer sur le vent.
Here, let me help!
Dragon Swarm! It's go time!
Air thrust!
I feel sprightlier than before.
This might not be the best time, but if you have a minute. That mask of yours, it was shattered by a blow from Balsev when you fought back in Calaglia, correct?
Yeah, thanks for the reminder. I thought I was a goner.
Balsev's brute strength was in a league all its own. Yet half the mask remains. It's remarkably durable. Too durable to be Dahnan in origin.
Shion said the same thing. As if the fact I was wearing it meant there had to be more to me than met the eye.
You recalled your name when the mask broke, I hear.
Yeah, that's right. Although to tell you the truth, I'm a little scared what might happen when I lose the remaining half. Then again, the idea of not doing something because I'm afraid scares me even more. That's why I go on fighting.
Only he who first faces the night catches a glimpse of the dawn.
Come again?
It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
Looks like some solid equipment.
Ah bah enfin.
Go no further!
Now you'll look at it!
This
I
one's
can
mine!
carve through armor!
Shield and
You're mine!
Titan! They really don't give... Do they?
You got it,
Take this!
Putain, c'est des enfants de la petite merde.
Hey, that... Come on! You have to
J'ai pas vu la vie.
Sleep now.
Resuscitation! This one! Take this!
You're mine!
I never miss! On guard! Blah, blah, here I go!
Here I come! It's over!
C'est bien de dire de bla bla bla.
Dragon Swarm!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Photon! I'm all more with that stuff! Will this help? Take this! Tiger Blade! Healing Wrestle!
Thanks!
Flaming Meteor! Reload! Damn it! Will this help?
Anything in armor is all mine!
Here, let me help!
Double Demon Fang!
It's time!
I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this!
Deus Roar! Radiant Pierce!
Burn in hell!
Raging Lunar
Can't
Corruption!
get out of this!
Dragon Swarm!
Annihilation! Switch to offense! Searing Flame!
Now you see what I can do!
Reload! I'm out of ammo!
Sealed!
Double Demon
Will
Fang!
this help?
Blah, blah, magic!
I'll stop its
In
charge!
here! Thanks, Kisara!
Try harder!
Any more of this and I'll burn out.
You're finished!
Appreciate the help! One more!
Dragon
I owe
Swarm!
you one for that!
Hear me! Flame of Fury! Raging Storm!
Time to let it rip! Take this!
Water! Hear my
Double
call!
Demon Fang!
Bronze and rest! Tempest!
One guard!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno! Ha! Strike!
I can handle it!
Raging
Dragon Swarm!
Reload!
On guard!
Radiant Pierce! Tempest Whirl! Here's a healing art!
Tiens.
First aid!
Thanks, Shion! Tiger Blade!
Here I come!
Lunar Corruption!
You require
Lunar
aid.
Blast!
Double Demon!
Ready and ready!
Annihilation!
You made me angry! That was a bad idea.
Double demon
Lunar
fang!
blast! Going in.
An astral art?
That's my cue.
Shut him down!
Charge malevolence!
Double demon fang!
Waterfall!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Voilà. Enfin.
This
Aye.
should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Get lost!
Strike!
One more!
In a bind?
Here I come! You're
Raging
finished!
storm! Here I go! Blows flash!
Dragon swarm!
Time to shine! Do it!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Now! Take
Photon
that!
Aqua! I never miss!
It's over!
Going in.
Ah! You picked the wrong fight!
Cirrus Flame!
No escape!
Natural energy! Purge
Do it!
malevolence!
Red Will!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
I lack the energy for healing arts.
These don't seem like your run-of-the-mill Zeugles the Renans usually keep around.
Indeed. I believe it's safe to assume these were used in her experiments.
They certainly look as twisted as her.
Even here. This is...
I remember seeing instruments just like this back in Estaluva Forest.
It looks and smells like some kind of medicine.
Whatever this place was used for, I doubt it was anything of repute.
An opponent like this should be easy. My steel swarm! Will ya?
That's it! I'm the true gunslinger.
Got you now! Double demon fang!
Blind freaks! Why can't they just sit still?
Shia, can you take care of them?
No sooner said than done. Dance in the wind. Air
Double
strike.
demon fang! It's on!
Down.
Double demon fang!
I'm on a roll.
Far enough!
Water. Dance in the wind.
In a bind?
Air
Double
strike.
demon fang!
Arc breeze lancer.
Double demon fang!
Morph into stockpile.
Try harder! No, you can't!
Water. Hear my call.
Burn it out! You're mine! Dragon swarm! We did it! My turn!
Freeze lancer.
Strike!
Everlasting God!
Confiscated.
Negative hit!
Dragon swarm!
I'm ready.
I'm not done! Dragon swarm!
Resonate with the earth! Stalagmite! On your knees!
Take this! You're finished!
Air pressure!
You're mine!
I'm ready.
You're mine!
Handle it.
No escape!
Tempest!
Dance in the
You're
wind.
mine! It's over!
Lunar corruption.
Far enough!
I'll be saving this
Eat
one.
them!
Lightning
You're
condenser.
mine!
Annihilation. Lightning.
Dragon swarm! I'll keep you
Kisara.
back!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Un au C2.
your friends, Hootle?
A barrier. That may indicate Almeidrea is near.
Then we've got to find a way to get through somehow.
Let's see if we can find something that'll...
What is that huge flower-looking thing up there? Is that the ship's engine?
Indubitably. As one might expect, large ships require large engines in order to sail.
And if we destroyed it?
We might well sink the ship. Who knows if we would be able to escape before that happens.
Almeidrea sure has been busy since the contest began.
This isn't Almeidrea's doing.
You mean she didn't build this?
The body, yes. However, my guess is that the engine comes from a starship.
A starship? As in one of those vessels used to go to and from Lenegis?
Correct. The technology employed on Lenegis and in starships is more advanced than anything in our daily lives. Almeidrea may be resourceful, but she could never produce an engine like this on her own.
You mean to tell me we've got even bigger enemies waiting for us up in the sky? My head hurts just thinking about it.
Don't worry about that for now. Just focus on taking care of Almeidrea. An opponent like this should be easy.
For my lord!
Ready!
Take fall back!
Into the shadows! Primed and ready! Both
I'm
sides
going
lined
in!
up.
Bring him down!
Some fights are better left unfought.
Merde, j'ai pas vu.
Finally, some open space again.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Bah, on a déjà bien fait, je pense. Juste vérifier si je peux au moins créer des armes. Putain, maintenant j'en ai à ne plus quoi savoir en fait. Encore un truc avec des mérous. J'en peux plus des mérous.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Mais bon, on va s'arrêter là. Et on continuera la fois prochaine. Alors à plus tout le monde.